All right, mic check, mic check. All right, all right. All right, turn that off. Yo, 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 what it do, everybody? Let me get myself tuned up in here. Let me get myself all tuned up. I'm getting started right now, guys. I'm getting started right now. Welcome in, welcome in. I'm just trying to get some people in here real quick. Just trying to get some people over here real quick. All right. Oh, let me get myself over here ready. Mosh Pit Gaming the Spitter. Check me out. Check me out. All right. Okay. There we go. Palinari in the house. What it do? What is my mic on? What it do? What it do, y'all? What it do? You guys already know the vibes. Welcome back. Welcome back to the What It Do podcast, you guys. I'm your host, Diggs. Welcome in. Welcome in. I gotta make sure I can see myself good. This light is bright as hell. Let me turn it down one notch. All right. There we go. How does everything sound, partner? Everything sounds good? Everything sounds fine? If everything sounds good and sounds fine, we're going to jump right into it. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the What It Do podcast. Again. All right, y'all. What it do? What it do? What it do? My name is Mosh Pit Gang. My name is Diggs. I'm in the house, y'all. We're doing the What It Do podcast today. This is the What It Do podcast. Welcome in, friends. What's up, Emperor? How you doing? I'm live on the What It Do podcast, and I'm Diggs. Today we're getting right into our story. All right, where is my French notes at? There we go. All right, we jumping right into it, and today's topic is uh, why are people so sensitive? We jumping into why are people so sensitive? They so moody, they so cranky, they're so agitated. They're so sensitive these days. People are right when you about to say something, they already mad at you for saying it, and you ain't even said nothing yet. What it do? What it do? Oh yeah, that's what I'm asking today. Today I'm asking, why do people get upset so quick? Why do people get mad so quick? Why do people cry so quick? Why are people so sensitive? You believe it's in the water. It has to be something in the water. It has to be something in the water. But today we're going to go over a couple of signs and find out why. We're going to go over a few signs and find out why are people so sensitive. You know, and if you guys chime in, I'm going to roll a blunt too at the same time. Sensitive is not sensitivity. Sensitive is not, I'm not sensitive. People get, but when you say that, if I said, yes, you are sensitive, if I said that you are sensitive, what's up, Robert? How you doing? If I said that you are sensitive, you would be sensitive about it. You'll say, no, I'm not. I'm not sensitive. You'll get all moody, and you'll tell me how sensitive you're not. Let me put this in front of me so I can see what y'all talking about at all times. There we go. Oh, I ain't gotta look over there no more. Thank God. So I can just look straight ahead. And I'm only asking this to my YouTube fans. I see you guys over there on the purple app and the green app. I know you guys over there. You guys are just gonna be watching. Unless you guys come over to my YouTube channel, that's gonna be Mosh Pit Gaming YT. You guys can join the conversation with us over here. I'm not streaming anywhere else but here on YouTube and these other platforms that are non-related to TikTok. Because they don't let me do all this. All right, so let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. You guys talk about it, but we're getting right into why are people so sensitive. It's 2026, and we have the sensitivity rate is out the door these days. Everybody's so uh, ready to argue, or ready to be offended, or ready to be sensitive. I'm gonna say it like it is. I don't know how else to put it. I mean, is there another way to put it so I ain't gotta say sensitive? Let me know. My thoughts, really, it was great. It was great. I left a comment. It was great. But we have to figure out why are people so sensitive. So I got 10 signs of highly sensitive people. Now, I'm not talking about just the ones that are sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mosh, it's Toot. What's up? It's gonna be Diggs on this show. I'm not affiliated with Mosh Pit Gaming on this show. I'm not affiliated with Mosh Pit Gaming, so you won't be seeing this right here on this side of town. You won't be seeing this on this side of town. Oh, I can't even play it because it ain't on this side of town. Only thing you'll see over here, this is the What It Do podcast channel right here too. And then it's the gaming channel when I'm not doing the podcast. And today's topic too is sensitivity. Why are people so sensitive? Why are people so sensitive these days? Come on, y'all gotta let me know. I mean, is it because they what? Because they what? Come on, I need some help. Why are people so sensitive and so quick to get? They so quick to be ready to argue. You ain't even said nothing yet, but they quick to be ready to argue. Medication, yes, yes, I agree with that 100% too. I agree with that 100% too. As soon as you approach a person, you don't even know what meds they're on. You don't even know what meds they're on. So you don't even know nothing about what's going on with that person yet. But is that an excuse for me not to walk up to a person and be myself? You know, if I'm genuinely an asshole and I walk up to a person in my asshole state, can I not be that because he's sensitive? Let me know. I'm listening. Because if I'm genuinely an asshole and I walk up on you and I'm talking crap, it ain't my fault that I trigger you. That's how I look at it. It ain't gonna be my fault that I trigger you. People, yep, okay, I can go with that too. I can go with that. I can definitely go with that. People be at work, they got work problems. Sometimes they bring their work problems home with them. I found me an expert. Katie gonna tell me what's going on. I didn't went and found Katie. I didn't went and found Katie, and she gonna tell us 10 things that make us like this. And we gonna interrupt Katie as she going through it, and we gonna talk about it and see if y'all agree with Katie's thoughts and her process. You know, because here at the What It Do podcast, we ask what it do, people. Let me hit this one more time over here. And I'm going to pull Katie up real quick. All right, let me get Katie pulled up real quick. Let's get Katie pulled up real quick.
Sensitive, maybe told to stop thinking about things so much. Are you often told that you're too sensitive? Maybe told to stop thinking about things so much. Or you need a lot of time to recharge after a hectic day. If so, you could be what is known as a highly sensitive person, or HSP. And today I'm going to explain what a highly sensitive person is, share 10 signs that you are an HSP, and offer some tips on how we can manage our vulnerability to being overwhelmed. If you find this type of content helpful and educational, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. It really does help. The term highly sensitive person was coined by psychologist and author Elaine Aron. Now, it is not a diagnosable mental illness, but it's often linked to sensory processing disorders. And according to Aron's theory, HSPs have a stronger response to internal and external stimuli when compared to people who are not HSPs. And this affects roughly 15 to 20% of the population. Being
Okay.
highly sensitive has its benefits as we are more empathic, understanding.
All right. Now, Katie just jumped right into it. She jumped into sensitivity as in it's an overwhelming thing. She got straight into talking about how we going to try to help people that are sensitive. Now, this goes into why people are so sensitive and why they're so agitated and why they're so ready to fight, or why they're so ready to get violent. This gonna go into it right here. Katie gonna tell us. Life period is general. Yes. Life in general, bills, work. Yes, I agree with that 100% always. If it ain't one thing, it's another. The bills, the card note, the lights. See, I used to do a show called Night Terrors, and those were fears like of uncertainty, fears of I gotta pay my bills, I can't get shit done right. You start feeling overwhelmed, your heart started beating fast. You know, it's hard for you to concentrate. It's hard for you to think. You know, so here at What It Do, we're gonna figure out some things. Let's get right back into it.
And aware. But as I'm sure you can realize, it can also have a negative impact, making us feel overwhelmed easily, exhausted, and often needing time alone to recharge.
Yep.
I would also argue that being highly sensitive is a bit trickier now with social media and the ability to be overstimulated at our fingertips. We can easily tap into the pain going on in the world and be shown tons of images, videos, and music anytime we open an app. We can even share something lovely about our life or an issue that we're having, and people online can bully us, judge us for how we look, claim that we don't have a right to be struggling because other things are going on in the world. It can be hard to stay regulated these days, which is why we all need
Katie
access
just
to
brought in the
affordable
music.
health care and mental health care.
Katie just brought in the music real quick. She's like, you know what? I do sound kind of boring. Let me put the music on in the background real quick. I can't be talking about Katie though, okay? So, they need to sit down and chill. Wait a minute. She said you have to stop overthinking things. You have to stop overthinking. First off, we do it to ourselves. We put ourselves in that state where we're overthinking too much, and then we start panicking. Anakin. Oh, retracted. I thought it said restricted. People need to sit back and chill sometimes. That's just how it goes. You know, you can't just be sitting around letting the anxiety and letting the stuff creep up on you. You know, because like you said, last night you had a lot of anxieties last night. You had a lot of things going on last night with you. You know, your anxieties got up on your bed. Your heart was beating. You know, you probably was sweating. Them anxieties are bad. And you better stop it. You got to stop it. You can't let them anxieties get in your life. You can't keep overthinking yourself. You can't overthink what's going on in your life, because then you're going to keep keeping yourself down. Let's get back into Katie real quick. She got about 2 minutes more of her talking before we get to the next segment.
And if you're in the States and you haven't enrolled in an affordable healthcare plan, you can go to healthcare.gov and enroll now. If you find yourself in a crisis or are needing extra support,
Mental health.
you can also call the crisis response line at 988. And this video comes to you as part of the Better Internet Initiative supported by the Fellow Americans Education Fund.
And it's for educational
Let's
purposes
move into
only.
the 10 signs you are a highly sensitive person.
Let's go into it, y'all.
Sign number 1. You feel at your best when you're alone and in your own space.
Now, who agree with that? Who agree with that? You feel better when you're alone in your own space. I know I gotta wait for y'all to catch up. Who feels that? That y'all feel alone in your own space. Y'all feel the best. I understand. Sometimes you got to call somebody, though. Sometimes Jesus busy. What if Jesus hotline busy? Jesus be on the main line. You know what I'm saying? Tell him what you want. I want to hear it. I mean, for me, I do feel best alone in my own space. I'm relating to this one right here. I do feel alone in my own space. I'm gonna let y'all have a time to think about it. Do you feel best alone in your own space? Do you need that break sometime to get away from them kids? Do you need that break sometime to get away from their husband or your wives? Do you need that break sometimes to get away from the bills, from the debt, from taking out the trash, from doing something? Do you you know? Tell me. Right. There you go. You relating with this one right here. Number one, you're relating with. Number one, I'm relating with. Palinar, are you back there? Are you relating with number one? How about you, Emperor? Are you relating with number one? What you want to give it a break for? What you doing on TikTok that you need a break from? See, this is how I look at TikTok. For entertainment purposes only. I'm there to entertain. I'm there to get my ass off. I don't care if I got people watching me. Because that's where the hang up come in at. You want people to watch. We want people to view. I want it to. Don't get me wrong. I want the same thing like everybody else. I want views. But I want constant viewers. I want people to come in and be like this at home. You know, when I'm streaming. So I mean, it has to be something. You can focus more when you're, yes, that's good, Robert. You can focus better by yourself. Good, Emperor. You can focus better by yourself. You be painting shit. You be painting real good shit. So I know you have to focus. You got to focus on what you paint, and you got to focus on what you're doing in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Too tired of watching us. Hey, like I said, she supports us. She makes sure we support it. You know, one of our brothers just left. You know, one of our brothers just left us and turned his page off and took a break. You know, and for me, I understand how you could take your break, but right now I can't. You know, I can't take no break. I gotta pursue options. I gotta do this show. You know, I gotta do other things. I can't stop the momentum I've already built. I've been doing this for a few years now, so I can't stop the momentum of what I got going. I gotta build with the momentum I got going, and I gotta keep building with it. Ain't no stopping. But let's get back into what Katie's talking about. So since we are saying we feel better alone in our own space, we feel the best. I do too.
Because the world can be so overwhelming and we can easily become overstimulated, we can feel most comfortable when we get to be alone in our home, doing the things we want to do. Now, this doesn't mean that we need it to be silent and we're going to sit in the dark, but it does mean that we're able to figure out the right mix of things going on around us. We all thrive when we aren't too over or under stimulated.
Right.
And being alone means that we get to set everything up in a way that's pleasing to us. And we may find ourselves needing this time in between stimulating events.
Right.
The amount of alone time we need, it'll vary depending on our personal needs and how dysregulated we feel at the time.
Right.
And I do want to throw out a warning here that isolating all of the time isn't good for any of us.
Right.
Even if we are HSPs, that doesn't mean we don't make the time to see people or build relationships and connect. We may just not need to do it as often as others. We all need connection with other people. And I don't want this sign to be an excuse that we all use to explain away our depressive symptoms. So keep an eye on this sign if you feel it applies to you all the time. Sign number.
Okay. She said something very important at that last part. She said something real important. By us being in by us wanting to be got me stumbling over my words because I'm listening to her. By us wanting to be by ourselves, we forget that we need human contact. We forget that we need somebody. That's probably why we're so uptight, so angry. We probably ain't got the right people in our lives and stuff to make us want to go out there and be better. Maybe it's our politic issues, you know. Maybe it's the conspiracy theories we're going through in our lives that's got us down. You know, it's a lot of different variables that we can say it is on why we want to be alone. But like I said, we have to go out there and get more people in our lives. We still got to have human contact. You shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be like that at all. You know what I'm saying? It should be people uplifted everybody. That's our problem today. We don't want to uplift nobody. We don't want to help nobody. We don't got nobody's back. We ain't doing nothing. And maybe it's because of what we're going through too. You know, maybe it's because of our being at home alone and not having human contact that we're like this. You know what I'm saying? So let's get into number 2.
Number 2, we avoid scary or hurtful content online. Since we are so empathic, watching.
Now, number 2 is really deep. Do you guys find yourself Do you find yourself um, I understand what you're saying too. Do you guys think that you avoid scary content, scary or hurtful content online? I mean, I don't want to see negative. I don't care about scary, but I don't want to see nobody hurt. You know, I don't want to see nobody just sitting around crying. I'm not into all that. I'm not gonna be watching no aggressive criers, or I'm not gonna be just sitting around watching emotional content where it's just, you know, the color purple all day. I'm not gonna be watching the color purple all day. You know what I mean? What do I mean about what too? Let's go into it too. What you saying? What you saying? What I just said about hurtful or scary content. Do I avoid hurtful or scary content online? And I say no. I say I don't avoid it, but I'm not gonna be sitting around watching it. Do you sit around? Okay, scary or hurtful? So I'm thinking scary and hurtful. Let's break scary down. To be afraid. So to be afraid, that's scary. Or and then hurtful, that's to hurt or to wound. Um, so I'm looking at, you know, do you sit around watching people get cut up, unalived? Do you just sit around watching that and be like, yeah, I like that. I'd like to see people unalived. That's awesome. Or do you say no? I would say no. I don't like sitting around watching people get unalived unless I'm watching Jason do it, or Freddy, or Michael Myers, or the Scream dude. Because I know that they're subject to their area. You know, Jason's at Camp Crystal Lake. Michael Myers is in that one neighborhood. Freddy is in that one neighborhood and on Elm Street. Right, right. So you don't just sit around watching this kind of content. You don't just sit around watching people cry, watching people tortured, watching people not watching those African commercials. Remember at night, little loose neck be up there with the flies on his lips, skinny ass little dude with his ribs out. You know, that's hurtful. You wondering how can these people do this to these people, these little African people? You know what I'm saying?
A movie where someone might be hurt or seeing someone be pranked online can feel overwhelming to us. We can feel so deeply for that person that we don't want to watch anything bad happen to them, even if it's just part of a movie and it's not even happening in real life. It's almost like our sensitivity makes it difficult for us to disconnect our concern from the reality of the situation. Instead of having to deal with that discomfort, we can just find ourselves avoiding it altogether. This sign is one that I personally feel in my bones. Sean loves scary movies, and I can't even watch a suspenseful portion of a drama. I get too worried about the other person and it just stresses me out, so I usually leave the room or close my eyes for a bit. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it makes me feel more comfortable. Sign number 3, we struggle with overthinking.
This is yours too.
Because we are so aware of everything going on around us, making decisions and
this is yours right here, too. Struggling with overthinking. Mine also. This is one of my personals right here. Struggling with overthinking, guys. I overthink so much. I be just wanting to solve the problem inside my mind first, so I overthink it so many times on the way it should go or this way it should be or, I overthink it so much, you guys. So here, what it do, we jump right into it and find out why we think that way, why we go through that. Let's get back into what she's talking about. But this is yours right here. And if anybody got something to add on to this, do you guys struggle with overthinking? I know this is Toots. This is Toots right here. But Robert, do you struggle with overthinking? Emperor, do you struggle with it? How about you, Palinari? Do you struggle with overthinking? Come on, y'all can tell me. I listen. I listen to what's going on. I want to know why we overthinking stuff. You do that. I'm telling you. Oh, I already know. Overthinking is common. We all do it. We all be sitting around overthinking stuff. What we say, we thinking about it twice. It's your worst enemy. I already know. Let's talk about it.
processing our days can take a lot of time. We also think about things on a deeper level, maybe getting caught up in all the ways it could affect others or be interpreted.
Right.
Due to our intense focus on details, we can find ourselves laying awake at night, running through all of the things that we said, emotional responses we experienced, and what we think others felt. It can feel like there's not enough time in the day to think it all through, and even though we want to sleep, we can't shut our brain off.
Right.
We can even find ourselves jumping around in time, worrying about tomorrow, but also, trying to work through some past stuff at the same time, feeling...
I go through this all the time. My mind jumps into the future. My mind be jumping into the future, and I be trying to figure out what I can do in the future. I be trying to be so ahead. I don't want to waste no time. My past is already back there. That was 5 minutes ago. So I jump so far ahead and try to solve the problems ahead of me before I even get there, when I shouldn't even worry about them until they're there, So I go through this a lot.
Compelled to run through all that happened today. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting at times. Sign number 4, we become annoyed and overwhelmed when people try to get us to do too many things at once.
I agree with that one too. Right. It do. It wakes me up in the middle of the night too, because I'm trying to solve a goddamn problem. I'm still trying to get in there and find out what's going on. So I be like, Why do I gotta go through these kind of things in my life? And I because I gotta stop overthinking. I gotta stop overthinking and just slow down. You know, keep your speed up on my focus and my grind. Slow down a little bit. That's all. Just slow down. Let your mind rest a little bit. Now, number 4, annoyed or overwhelmed. That means you're doing too much. Listen, that means you're doing too much. You annoyed and overwhelmed. You know, frustrated, annoyed, agitated. You know what I'm saying? You're annoyed by what's going on. Somebody done pissed you off that bad and annoyed you. That's how see look. Now somebody come up and talk to you, but you won't. You already in defense mode. You already in the defensive stance. Why you already ready to fight? Because somebody done said hello. Somebody says hello. What? You already pissed. You gang banging on bacon. That's not you. You all of it. For real. Now you can't smile. Listen, now you can't smile because they done already got you annoyed. But you already been annoyed. You already been overwhelmed. Like them kids got you over there overwhelmed all the time. Now you're annoyed with what's going on. Work has got you so annoyed. Now you're overwhelmed and don't know what's going on. Now you pissed off all the time at the water cooler. Now you going to the damn water cooler and Louise is at the damn water cooler. Now you pissed off at Louise for no damn reason because she came over to the water cooler. Because maybe her ass is thirsty. Maybe Louise is thirsty and she came over to the water cooler at the same time as you. She ain't coming to piss you off. See, that's our problem right there. Yeah. Right.
Because we process things on a deeper level and often notice minute details that others don't, it can be hard for us to do multiple things at once. Not to mention the fact that we worry about how everything we do affects other people, so we may be a bit perfectionistic in the things that we do. And if we don't feel like we get to focus on the task at hand and only that task, then we can worry that that is going to make the result not as good, and we're going to let other people down. Overall, when we feel pulled in multiple directions, it can cause us to get dysregulated,
Right.
feel out of control, and we can find ourselves irritable and in our fight-flight response. Sign number 5, we prefer dim lighting. Because
She said it at the very end. She said it at the very end. At the very end of the day, you're in your fight or flight mood at the end of the day. You can't even calm down because you're so ready to punch somebody. You so ready and hurt that you can't even do nothing. You know what I mean? This is she's talking. She's making some sense.
HSPs are often connected to sensory processing disorders, being in a loud and bright environment is going to feel immediately overwhelming. Even overhead lighting can just feel like too intense or uncomfortable. And I read some comments from HSPs who said that overhead lighting feels blinding and that they wear special glasses at work to manage this, or take breaks where they sit with their eyes closed for a bit. I mean, even a few of my friends hate bright lights and especially overhead lighting, and they will come into your home, turn on your lamps, and turn off the overhead lights. And I have to be honest, I love that they feel comfortable enough to do that because I want them to feel good. And lower lighting, it doesn't bother me at all. Sign number 6, we have an intense
I'm not worried about the
fear
lighting.
of rejection.
Oh,
And
yes.
this ties directly into the fact that
Number 6. Number 6 is a good one, y'all. Number 6 is good. An intense fear of rejection. You like to sit in a dark room? So you're a multitasker. You can do a few things at once. I can definitely understand that. I only like being in the dark when I'm in the dark. Only when I'm in the dark. If I'm in the dark, I like it. If I'm not in the dark, I don't. It's not a big concern. Six is mine, right? 6 is a good one. An intense fear of rejection is really good. People do not want to go outside or do anything or go be with anybody because they fear rejection. They fear somebody saying no. Let's see what she tells us about it.
we feel everything intensely. If someone doesn't like us or we don't get top marks, we can feel like a complete failure. And the intensity of that feeling is so overwhelming to our system that we often feel like we just can't take it. This can cause us to opt out of tough projects, struggle with any kind of feedback. And it can make dating difficult too. We often don't realize how many parts of our life are affected by a fear of rejection, but just consider for a moment how many things that you do every day that could end with someone not liking it or
Right.
not liking you.
Time out. I'm just going to stop her there because I say this in fear of rejection. If we don't put ourselves out there to get rejected, we won't have a tolerance for rejection because we have to be out there to get rejected in order to build up some kind of tolerance to rejection so we don't be sensitive on rejection. Every time we get rejected, we're going to just eat ice cream and cry every time, or we're going to grow tougher skin the next time. Because for me, I think if I was rejected one time, I'm more guarding my feelings to not be rejected again. You know what I mean? So I'm more not wanting to be rejected the second time. So you got to put yourself out there. I see. For me, I can't fear rejection at all. If you don't like me, you don't like me. I can't make you like me. I tell people to scroll up. You know? You ain't gotta come in here and talk crazy to me. You ain't gotta come in here and waste your energy talking to me crazy, trying to get a reaction out of me so we can both be crazy. Scroll up. That's what I tell people all the time. Y'all know I put my stuff out there. Let's get into her talk.
There's a lot, right? I can think of a ton. Sign number 7, we are really sensitive to caffeine.
Oh
I
shit.
honestly hadn't thought of how caffeine could affect HSPs, but this
Oh
sign is even
Lord.
in the HSP test that Elaine Aron created. It is on this list because caffeine is a stimulant to our nervous system. And if we're already extra stimulated, it could push us into a dysregulated space easily. When those of us who aren't HSPs are looking to feel more alert, awake, and able to focus, our HSP friends are looking to turn that all down a little bit. So if you know that you already feel on edge, often overwhelmed, or are having a hard time relaxing, caffeine may not be the best thing to put into your body. And trust me, I know it's part of our culture in many ways. I grew up in Washington State and we love our coffee.
So you think caffeine? You think caffeine is overstimulating to some people who have the hypersensitive disorder? So you drink coffee, but see, you're not hypersensitive. You told me you can multitask, you can paint, watch me, you can do other things, you can, you know, you don't have that one. You know, you don't have caffeine sensitivity. I don't have caffeine sensitivity either. Well, I'm not gonna lie about it. I do have a caffeine sensitivity because I was a hyper child, and I don't like putting too much caffeine in my body because by already being stimulated, I don't need that. So I smoke marijuana to bring me down, to bring those levels down some for me, so I don't have to be all going all the time. You know, that's what I use. That's what I use that, and then I don't take Westernly world medicines like, I don't take pills or anything that's gonna take away pain or anything. I don't take all that crap because I don't like putting all these things in my body. You know, I got a wussy system, so I don't like to put one symptom on top of another. You know what I'm saying? So if these pills are gonna make my leg feel better, but gonna make my eye fall out, I don't want to take those pills. I don't want to take those pills. If I take these pills, they're gonna make my leg feel better, but my eye fall out. I don't want to take those pills. I'm just being realistic.
There, but I also know that sometimes too much coffee can make me feel jittery and even mimic the symptoms of anxiety. Sign number 8, we cry easily.
Uh-oh.
This sign probably doesn't come as a shock, but it's important to talk about because too often we're embarrassed of this sign or have been shamed by others for it. So we can find ourselves stuffing our feelings down and not letting ourselves cry even when we feel the need to. Now, I know personally noticing if I feel more emotional than normal is a sign that I'm not doing well and I need to get back into therapy. So whether or not you think you're an HSP, this sign is something that we should all take note of. Notice if you feel like crying when you're watching TV, hearing about something going on in the world, or always feel like you could cry at the drop of a hat. What this means is that our nervous system is already dysregulated. And if we can notice this sooner rather than later, then we can do something about it. Like going home and taking a break from all of the people, lights, and noise. Since no one enjoys crying in public around people we maybe don't know that well, it's best if we start to pay attention to this sensation so that we can do something about it. Sign number 9.
Okay, let's get into that one real quick. Number 8. Let's get into number 8 real quick. And I live by an Air Force base. That's the sound of freedom. Okay. Number 8 was really, really good because some people do tend to cry more or feel more sensitive and ready to cry quicker than others? Now let's ask that one, Emperor. Are you ready to cry quick? Are your feelings hurt fast? Not even your feelings hurt. Are you watching TV like I said, sometime when I'm watching The Color Purple, there's certain scenes in there that bring out emotions. Like when I'm watching Roots, if I watch Roots or something, certain emotions and feelings in that movie brings a tear to my eye. I don't know what it is. It's just emotion that I go through in a lot of these movies like that. So it's like at some point of the movie, while it might be a deep segment, you don't cry often. Me either. I don't even remember the last time I cried. But I'm just saying, it be those sensations where the movie draws out something. Ain't nothing wrong with crying for a woman. Yes, a man don't. I'm just gonna be. I'm gonna talk as a sexist right now. A man ain't crying. A real man don't sit around crying about nothing. We got too many responsibilities and things to think about other than crying. We gotta solve problems. We gotta work on something. We gotta build something. We gotta do something. We ain't got time to be sitting around crying about nothing. I'm just being real. I'm just thinking about a normal man. If you catch a man crying, I'm just gonna say it like it is. A man gonna be crying in the shower some damn where, crying in the rain. You know, you catch a man crying, he crying in the shower or crying in the rain. And don't forget to push the thumbs up button, guys, on the video. I can really use that. And if you guys haven't subscribed to the video, please do. You guys might not know you subscribe, but just check it out for yourselves, please. Men don't sit around crying. I'm just saying. You know, but highly sensitive people do. Highly sensitive, she just told me. Highly sensitive people, they tend to want to cry at all times. They can cry at the drop of a hat. You know, I can't.
We often feel misunderstood. This is a big one, and the reason that most of us HSPs can feel lonely a lot of the time. When we've been told since
girls
we were children
can cry.
that we were
It
too
ain't
much,
about being weak.
too
Girls can
sensitive,
cry.
or being drama queens, it can feel like we aren't lovable as we are. Or that if we do share how we really feel, it won't be heard or understood. And since HSPs make up 15 to 20% of the population, that means that the vast majority of people don't understand what it's like to feel overwhelmed constantly and need downtime to recharge, which is part of the reason why I wanted to create this video, so that we can understand this more and help the HSPs in our life feel more seen and understood.
Right.
Sign number 10.
That's why I wanted to make
we
this
feel
video
out
today.
of place a lot. This last sign is a doozy and can happen because before we knew that we were highly sensitive, we probably believed that we were just weird or the oddball, never feeling like we fit in anywhere. Our society praises those who can work long hours, do things quickly, and juggle a lot of tasks at once.
Right.
And when we're highly sensitive, doing that feels completely dysregulating. Therefore, our experience in life can feel very different from others and lead us to
Right.
feeling out of place all the time.
Right.
We all know how valuable it is to know that we aren't alone with our struggles. And when we're in
She
HSP,
wants to cry right now.
it can feel like we are.
She want to cry right now. You know what I'm saying? I saw it in her eyes.
If you're anything like me and feel that some of these signs are true for you or you feel them in your bones, then here are some ways that we can better manage them.
She got
First
real
up,
emotion
we
too.
have to get to know our biggest triggers. Are we most dysregulated in crowds? Is it when we see someone else being hurt that we get upset?
Okay.
Maybe when we haven't slept well? Start to pay attention to the things that are the most.
Yeah, that's what we got to start doing right there, y'all. What it do, what it do. We have to start paying attention to the signs on what makes us feel these ways. I was just going over that a couple days ago with my boys. on trying to make them understand how we feel and what we're doing like this. Um, and to recognize the signs and start manifesting things into our lives and stuff. This is a really good one right here. She's talking about some real stuff, and we have to recognize the signs on what makes us feel like that. I just like I was telling you. Sometimes I want to cry while watching The Color Purple. Sometimes while I'm watching Roots or one of those slavery ass movies, sometimes the actor is so good that it sparks up some kind of emotion. It's like he's getting me, you know, and that's how it is with the drama. If you are so if you watching a movie and it's got you that good, sometimes you with the emotion, they crying in there, so sometimes you crying with them because you're human. You're in the story. You're putting you're dragging yourself into the story. She was crying before she made the video. You stupid. She was crying before she made the video. I agree with that 100%.
Upsetting, so that
All
you
right.
can decide when to engage with those things, if you engage with them at all. Next, we want to pay attention to the way that we talk to ourselves about our sensitivity. We aren't weak, crybabies, too much, or even shy. Those are probably old stories from our childhood that we keep telling ourselves.
Right.
Almost like someone else started the abuse, but now we're choosing to continue it. So pay attention to the conversation that you have with yourself, and you can use bridge statements to challenge those thoughts. Remember, bridge statements aren't positive, they're just less negative than the original thought. For example, if my automatic thought was, I'm too sensitive and that makes me weak, then the bridge statement could be something like, I am sensitive, but I also hear that being this way isn't always a weakness. I think mine is, but maybe not for everybody. See? Not positive, but not as negative. And you keep building.
And see, when I listen to her talk, I listen to her. She's right about what she's saying, but she has to stop. I just said it too. She has to stop saying "but." She has to keep it positive. Her mind has to stop going into the wanting to go into the negative. That's what the problem is. We have to stop that too. We have to stop wanting to always go into a negative. It's like I love you, but what? We have to stop saying but to unless we at the office and we talking about the yes, I got all the papers signed, but the president has to go over them. That means you got all the work done, but now you got to take it to the boss. We have to stop saying but. You can't say I love you, but once you say the but, that cancels out everything before what you said. I love you, but nope, you don't love me. That's how it goes. Yeah, you got to. You got to, because once we put that but, we're canceling out everything we said before we said but. So if I told you I love you too, and I said, but I got a wife. I love you, but I got a wife. That sounds like I don't love you too. I got a wife. What the hell are you talking about? You see what I'm saying too? Like you see, but you understand the concept there. Yeah, they can't not say that. If someone tells you they love you and then they say but, they do not love you. That's that because they're canceling out. It's a cancel out. Once you say but, you're canceling out the you're canceling out everything you said because right here you said I love you. So those were the action words that you put in before me. But then you said but. So that stops it there, erases the I love you automatically. Unless you're going to say, I love you, but your cooking was bad. I love you, but what? What's the but? And I even tell people that one too, too. We gotta stop saying I understand. We can't understand. Understanding is an action verb. Under meaning beneath. Stand meaning authority or power to like stand up for yourself or to So it's like a under the authority or under the power of. We have to stop being under the power of something. That's why when I say I understand, you have to say more like I comprehend. Because when we understand, we're already putting ourselves under that person. We're already putting ourselves under that person's authority. We're beneath that person when we understand. So there is no such thing as understanding. Yep, there's no such thing as it. If you understand the word, the root word, and the cause of these words and how they're using them, understanding is a bad thing. Because, like I told you, the word understand, if you break it down into the root cause of the word under means beneath. The word under means beneath. The word stand means I stand up or I got power or authority. I do. I go real deep. So if I have to understand something, I'm already losing. I'm already putting myself under the power of that person. So we have to start saying I comprehend. Comprehending is you the it's the same thing as you understanding. But you're comprehending. That means your mind is working. You're comprehending what's going on. You're just not understanding what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, here at What It Do, we keep your mind going. We keep your juices flowing over here at What It Do. I think she's done with what she's having to tell us. She's just telling us to just be open and find out what's going on with you. Study yourself. Get a good understanding of yourself. You know. And you see how I said that? Understanding. I'm supposed to say get a good comprehension of yourself. See, I have to do it myself. I have to get my words in check because when I'm gonna get into it. When we're speaking these words, all we're doing is speaking things into our life that we don't want. You know, you guys all know what I'm talking about. So we gotta put these words in the right kind of way, in the right kind of word ways, so we don't put these different things in our lives. You know, they do a lot of studies in China and other countries on sound waves and how bad vibes can make things not grow, make things grow. If I say good stuff, so that means that the words have an effect on things. That means that the words have an effect on us. Yes, you need to hear this. I'm gonna tell people they stopped teaching us this in school when we were kids. A long time. They never taught us. They never taught us how to break down the words and find the root. Remember back in school, I mean I don't know if you they taught you, but they used to teach us how to find the root words and find out what words meant, and where they came, the origin of the word. That's why I was breaking it down, understand. Because they taught us how to break down the prefix and break down the words and put them into a category so we can understand them. You know, so when I say understand, I'm putting under as in the word under means underneath or beneath. Stand means to stand up or to have authority. So if you understand, you're under the authority. That means you're under their people. You're under always. Lynette the Killer, how you doing? Welcome in. Positivity brings growth. Yes, it does. Positivity does bring growth. And we have to understand that we have to start putting the positivity into our life. We have to start manifesting the words into our life. We have to start comprehending what we have to comprehend to get to the next level. But if we keep on speaking the wrong spells in our lives, because that's why they put in our schools, they taught us how to read, they taught us how to spell, they taught us how to count. We don't understand what that was about when the things were going on. They taught us this stuff. They taught us how to count. They taught us how to read. They taught us how to make these spells work. They taught us how to put these words together in just the right syllables to make them work. I appreciate that, Lynette. I appreciate that. No, you gotta understand. They taught us this stuff. So I always tell people, check the words. Check what the words mean before you start telling somebody this. You know? I was just saying, Lynette, uh, we have to stop saying but in our life. We have to stop saying but. Ain't no saying but. I love you, but what's the but? That's what I was telling them, Lynette. What is the but? I love you, but it can't be no buts in between because you're canceling out everything you said before you said but. I love you. That should have been it. I love you because you're the greatest thing in my life. Okay. I love you, but your trash taking out history is wrong. You don't love me. You love me to take the trash out. Once you say but, or I tell people, you got to put the words right. It does. It cancels out what was said. So if I say I love you, but I don't love you. That's how it goes. For real. You can't say that at the end of no. You can't say that while you're talking to nobody. You can't give them objectives. You can't be positive and then say but. Yes, words have meaning. They're spells that we're speaking to each other's even. We're speaking spells to each other. We just don't know what spells and what thoughts we're speaking to each other because we don't know what they know. We don't know what's going on with them. You know, I was just taught about a few years back that pharmacy, the word pharmacy, if you go into the root word of pharmacy, that means sorcery. You know, if you go into pharmacy, that means sorcery. So we're already getting into sorcery when we're thinking about medicine. That's how it goes. So we have to stop casting these spells in our lives. You know, I was just taught a few years back. Why I'm always talking about I want a mortgage. I want a mortgage. I want a mortgage. Everybody knows what a mortgage is, though. You know, that's like a death deed. You're gonna die with this deed. They're telling you what it is. You know, you gotta go with the word morgue. You gotta go with the word morgue. Yes. If you go into the root word of pharmacy, let me see. I go into this stuff.
Building the bridge little by little to be less and less negative. Since we're talking about these old stories,
I am less and less negative, lady. What's how you spell pharmacy again? Pharmacy. Pharmacy. Pharmacy? Oh. Okay. Let's see where the root word of pharmacy comes from here. Let me see. Let's go into the root. Oh, they don't have a pharmacy root word? Hmm. Let me see what the Greeks called it. So, because we gotta understand, they were talking about a lot of different stuff before we even thought about what they were talking about. That's one pharmacy. Mm-hmm. They won't tell me the root word. I want to get to the root word of this word. And what the root words do is they break down like the two words in the word. They break down the two words in the word. So they say like farm and then messy. They break down the words so you can know what both the words mean so you can put them together. It comes from the French. Latin, Greek. I think this is where my mind was going with this right here. I think this is where my mind. I think here it go right here. Lynette, this is my mind was going with that sorcery crap. Where I was thinking about this pharmacy stuff. The preparer of drugs, poison, a sorcerer. So that's what I was going into that at right here. It just talks about that's the kind of person that prepares those kind of drugs. You know, it's called from the pharmamacus, the pharmamacus, a preparer of drugs, a poisoner, a sorcerer. So that's where I was going with that. Talked about spells and charms and enchantments and stuff like that. That's where I was going, where it talks about the sorcery in medicine. But that's what the like the pharmacus is talking about. But that's what I do. I jump into the root words of these words and I find out what they're talking about so I can really get a good understanding of what the meanings are so I don't get myself confused on what's going on. That's why I be saying to you guys, don't be saying that or don't be saying this or don't be saying that. We don't want to be saying these things because we don't want to be casting the wrong spells in our lives. We don't want to be putting the wrong things in our lives. We gotta just do what it do, y'all. We guys gotta do what it do. We can't be putting these weird ass phrases that the man has told us to say or has told us to do in our lives, and not knowing that we already have the power to change our reality. I'm not staying on long. This is actually the end of the show right here. I'm about to play the music. I tell y'all, I get right back into it. My name is Diggs, you guys. This is the What It Do podcast. I'm about to get my ass off of here. We're gonna be back next week with the podcast. I want you guys to think about what I'm talking to you about. Please put a thumbs up in the on the video so I can know you guys like the video, or thumbs down if you didn't like it. I don't mind. I'm an either or kind of person. Thumbs up or thumbs down, so we can think about what the topic is for next week. Next week topic was going to be about a career and hustle, but we can get into something else if you guys want. We can jump right into root words. We can jump into root words. If you guys want to learn some of those root words and stuff you guys can start doing in your life to make yourself more positive, we can get together and start breaking down words and putting better admirations, is that what they are? Affirmations in your life. Affirmations, yeah. Put some of those better in your life. You know, because sometimes you gotta put the phone down and start picking up more knowledge. You know, I went into Flat Earth for 5 years because I wanted to understand what the hell they were going through, to make them understand, to see why they thought the Earth was not round like I was taught. I had to figure out that what the hell they going through to think that the Earth is not round. What makes them think that? You know, there's not just one person. I can see if one person. I can see if one person was thinking it. I can see if one person was thinking it. But no, it was a whole lot of people. So if a whole lot of people are thinking one thing, I wanted to find out what's going on about it. Even with the root words. If all these people are going to this same study, let's find out what about it. So I went into that too. I wanted to figure out what they know. You know, what is the Da Vinci Code? You know, I went into that. I wanted to find out if they was talking about some real shit. You know, I went back into that dude that who told the future. What was his name? I forgot what the hell his name was. But he's world famous. I forgot his name though. You know. But like I said, here at the What It Do podcast, y'all, this is going to be every week. I'm going to try to keep this thing going for a little while. I just need you guys' support. Please, guys, when I put up the videos, please like them. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We're going to be out on that note right there. I appreciate everybody.